Was a great game on Saturday, and really proud that the guys this time of the year are sitting here at 9-0. It's the second time that we've been 9-0 since including 2005 and this year, and it's only happened 9 times in the 117 years at the University of Texas that a team would start 9-0. Last time before 2005 was 1983, so it's not something to take for granted, and we're really proud of it and proud of our guys. We're also proud that we could have an appreciation for our veterans. I didn't really know until this weekend that the stadium was named Memorial Stadium in honor of 3 football players that died in the war, and that's how our stadium was named. And there's a plaque on the left side as you walk in the stadium from the north end zone, the red zone, and I showed that to our players this week. So it's also good that we knew that. And I thought it was also a day to appreciate our military, not just our veterans. The pilots that did the flyover, there were 10 of them, ate pregame meal with our team, which is very unique. We don't have anybody eat pregame meal, and they were at the hotel, and we just thought it would be really nice for them to come in and eat. And 2 of them were Texas graduates, and we asked one of the Texas graduates to stand up and talk to our team briefly about preparing for a mission. And it was just amazing that how our military prepares and how football teams prepare for everything that they do each day, understanding that theirs is much more important because it's life and death and about our freedom, and ours is a game. We also were honored to honor our veterans, but we also want to keep the folks in Fort Hood, that the families and friends that lost relatives and friends, that we want to keep them in our hearts and make sure that we continue our prayers in their light, and because a lot of people move on in their lives, and that's an awful situation up there, and one that is very difficult for them to handle, I'm sure. We're also excited to be 2 in the country and in the top 3 in the BCS. Our job is to continue to win, and it's to do the best we can do each week to keep our eye on our goal and not be distracted by individual honors, and not be distracted by the BCS or the computers or the polls and what people like to talk about all the time. We're back at Baylor this week, and this gives us a chance to get back to the goal of winning the Big 12 South. And right now that's all we're interested in, and what we can do work on this week. We feel like we're in a great position. If you're in one of the top 2 or 3 spots in the BCS and 2 teams above you play each other, we felt like last week being second or being third really didn't make any difference to us, and where we are, we just need to keep playing at a very high level. Defense played great again until we substituted in the 4th quarter. Our defense had held Central Florida under 100 yards of total offense. We're number 1 in the country in total defense right now, giving up 230 yards a game. We're number 1 in rush defense, giving up 55.3 yards per game. Maybe more importantly, we're number 8th in the country in scoring defense, and we're leading the country in 3rd down efficiency. 23% of the time is what we're allowing them to make. In fact, Central Florida only made 2 of 12 3rd down situations, which really was good for us. Sergio Kendall Lamar Houston played at a very high level. We had 7 sacks on defense during the game, 9 pressures, and 13 quarterback hits. So we feel like that we're continuing to improve on the pressure of the passer, and that's what we've got to do to make sure we can continue to win. But our pass efficiency defense is so much better than it's been in the past because of the pressure we're putting on up front and the interceptions that we've had. We're 5th in the country in pass efficiency defense. There were 26 snaps of their 37 snaps on Saturday that went for 0 yards. 12 of those 26 were runs. The only thing that we needed to do differently on defense Saturday was force more turnovers. And we didn't strip a ball. We had the one fumble that Shockey Brown recovered, and we had a late hit on the quarterback, which was a good call that nullified it. Offensively, we continued to be very effective. Our pass protection was good, and Colt and Jordan were as good a combination as anybody has ever seen in college football on Saturday. It was fun to watch them, and since the halftime at OU, Colt's hitting over 80% of his passes, so he's really doing better right now than at any time he did last year. And he's on fire, and we need to keep him going the same way. We were inconsistent in our running game. We were really good in short yardage and goal line, which is what we want to do. The one play off of the goal line that Cody saved us, it would have been a safety if he hadn't fought his way out. was because we had a bust up front, and we missed the assignment and nearly got ourselves in trouble. But I think as coaches, we can do a better job of helping the kids in that situation. We threw it out of there and got a first down, and we had an 88-yard touchdown drive, 99 yards total, 88-yard touchdown play off of that series. So we feel like that, like at Tech last year, you can't get in the eye and hand the ball to an eye tailback when you're on the 6-inch line and not expect to not have an opportunity to get a safety. So we think that's our fault as coaches, and really there was a bust up front, but the kids really didn't do a bad job. That was more on us as coaches than them, other than the one player that busted it, obviously. Cody Johnson will start at tailback this week. He's been most productive, and we're excited about him getting better each week. Offense had 3 drives of over 80 yards. They had an 88-yard drive, an 87-yard drive, and a 99-yard drive, which is very, very hard to do. And they were also successful on 10 of 14 snaps on third down. So they stayed on the field as our defense was getting us off the field. They only had 1 turnover, but we didn't gain one. So we didn't win in the turnover ratio, even though the defense did have 1 fourth down stop, and we count that as a turnover internally. Colt just needs 1 more win to tie for the most wins in the history of a quarterback in the history of college football, which is just phenomenal. And right now we're 3rd in the nation in scoring offense with 41 points a game. Our kicking game was not as good as we need for it to be. Kickoff coverage was great. We had 2 tackles inside the 20-yard line. They only averaged 19.8 yards a return. We had 2 kicks out, so they were touchbacks. But we had 1 very poor kick, and therefore we covered it poorly and gave them a chance to get good field position. We only had 1 opportunity for a kickoff return, and we botched it. It wasn't very good. Extra points, we were 5 out of 5, but we missed the field goal to start the game, and it's very important for us when our defense, we defer, our defense stops Central Florida. We drive down and had an opportunity to score first, which is huge. When you look at the number of times when we've scored first, we've won, and we missed the field goal. And our punting was inconsistent. We had 1 great punt and 1 very poor punt, and our punt return was not up to our standard. We had 1 punt return that was decent, but we didn't get close to blocking one. So you come out, and what happened is we didn't score on special teams. We didn't get a turnover on special teams, and we really lost field position because they had a 50-yard punt and a 70-yard punt that set us back. So we've got to do a better job in our special teams. We bragged on them. They were as good as anybody in the country in the last 2 weeks. As a group, they've dropped off. We do lead the nation in scoring differential. We're averaging 41 points a game and giving up 12, and that's why we're undefeated. We are 2nd in the country in kickoff returns. We just need to do a better job. We're 7th in the country in turnover margin. And most importantly, we came out of the game healthy. Aaron Williams will be back full speed this week, and he should practice on Tuesday. And as of right now, Mason Walters and Calvin Howell will be the only 2 that will not play this week. So they continue to be out, but everybody else should be ready to play. And now we've got the road game with Baylor. Baylor's playing at the highest level of any Baylor team that we've seen since we've been here. After losing Robert Griffin early in the season, they've come back now, and they've played really well the last 2 weeks. They had a 20-10 game with Nebraska that was really close, and then last week just lit up a Missouri defense for 40 points and threw for 427 yards. And this is a fun game for us because it's always competitive, but it's a chance for our fans that don't have tickets at the University of Texas and can't get them to drive up to Waco and fill those stands. And I always love our crowd at Baylor. It's just it's fun to have them up there. Questions?
Coach, how's